Hey there, it's Alex Navas here with I.C.E.A, the International Christian Entrepreneurs Association, and I'm really excited today. We are here with another interview with the Enlightened Entrepreneur Series, and I'm very excited about today because we have our special guest, Leslie Samuel, from Become a Blogger and also Interactive Biology. And what we're going to talk about is Leslie's actually a post that he put on, which is what I found him under on his blog, but also how he's using blogging for his business. He's very candid about what he's doing in his business through blogging, and I found that he has a lot of insights to share with this community on how you also can use blogging in your business. So Leslie, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Leslie, the reason I found you is one day I was actually looking on Google, of all places, right? Google, and I was typing in Christian businesses, and I stumbled across a blog post that you had, and it was all about where are the Christian marketers?
Mhm.
I'm sure you remember that, and it's something that really stood out to me because I was like, that's so true. I've been in this circle for a while, and it's hard to find. What
Oh,
made you post that?
it's something that I've been thinking about a lot because I've been in the circle for a while also. I've been to a number of conferences. I've connected with a bunch of bloggers, and I noticed that there's a strong focus on me. There's a strong focus on, hey, I am the man who can teach you how to do this, and I have everything to get. Well, not necessarily I have everything together, but it's very me-centric. And I started to think about, how I'll use the word worldly, the internet marketing niche is. And when I say internet marketing niche, that's kind of a misnomer because there's so much within internet marketing.
Right.
You get the point, right? So I started to feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm thinking, man, the world is using this internet marketing thing in so many powerful ways, and Christians who have this powerful message aren't using it in the way that these guys are. And I started thinking, man, there needs to be more Christian entrepreneurs, Christian people out there that are using these tools, using these technologies, because you can reach so many people. When I see the power of it, I am just amazed. And I think there needs to be that aspect also to balance out all of the negative stuff that you find online, all of the filth, all of the crap that you see out there, quite frankly. I just wish that more Christians would get on there and start doing some powerful things. Not that no one is, but I want to see more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I created this Enlightened Entrepreneur Series, is really to find people like you who are passionate about business. And what I found sometimes what I find is a lot of Christian businesses are really, shy or meek. They're not really going out there and doing some hardcore marketing like a lot of these internet marketers or, internet entrepreneurs are. And I was questioning, why is that? Because we have such a wonderful message to share, not only in Christ, but also in our businesses, because I find that our businesses are just a way to reach people, through the products and services. So why not get out there in a big way? Why not get out there, use internet marketing, use, product launches, use a blog in your case, and get your message out there to impact more people? So I'm glad that you wrote that because it really touched a nerve with me because I'm passionate about that too.
Definitely. I think churches need to be out there doing this. I think, individuals need to be out there doing this, living a positive life and putting that life on display. Not to say, hey, look at me, I'm awesome, but say, no, hey, look at what God is doing through me. And if you are, if you find what's going on with me, somewhat attractive or it's kind of cool, it's because of him. So look to him. And I just think more people need to say that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate that because that's so true. That's so true. And I think if once we grasp that, we're gonna find that, not only are we doing these marketing strategies that actually work, but ultimately it honors God because, we're his hands and feet. So if we can use our business, use our marketing, use our promotion and outreach to be able to reach more people, I mean, praise God because of that. So Leslie, let me ask you this. How did you really get started in blogging, and what made you decide that blogging is your platform? I know you run two successful blogs now, but what got you started in that?
You know, I this was when I was teaching as a high school science and math teacher, and I was just looking for some way to make some money, supplement my income, and be able to pay off some bills and travel and all that kind of stuff. And I stumbled onto something that was called freebie trading,
Mm.
and it was those sites where they say. Complete these offers, get some friends, and then you get a free iPod, a free TV, and all
Oh
that.
yeah.
You know,
I never got any of them for some reason, but I
I
know
got
exactly about them.
I got a flat screen TV, the flat screen TV that's in my living room right
Oh,
now. I didn't
awesome.
pay for that. I got an iPod and a bunch of other stuff, but I figured out a way to make money with it at the time. I don't recommend it for anyone now because the industry is not as good as it used to be.
Hmm.
Um, but I was doing that, but the problem with that was the fact that if I wasn't doing the work all the time, I wouldn't make any money. Uh,
Uh,
I had to, if I wanted to make money today, I would have to work today. And there was no passive aspect to it. So there was no, I have a systems in place so that people can come and even while I'm sleeping, I can make some money with it. And I stumbled onto this guy from Australia. His name was Yaro Starak, and he was teaching about blogging. And I signed up to his newsletter because it sounded interesting because he said you could make a business out of it. I didn't understand, you're blogging, you're talking about what you had for breakfast and your cat rolled over and you'll make money from that. It didn't make any sense to me. But I started to learn based on what he was teaching. And he opened up a course, and I joined that course, and I started to realize that you can use a blog to basically build a platform. Your blog is your platform. And if you can do that, you can build a business around that platform. So I got into blogging, fell in love with it because you can share content. You can share things that's going to help people. And what I've done, what I'm doing has evolved over the years. I started back in 2008. But the concept of blogging to me is just a great way for you to get yourself out there, to put content out there. My motto is create content that inspires others and even change the world.
oh, I
Um,
love it.
it gives me a platform to be able to do that, and I fell in love with it. And then since then, it's just grown and it's expanded. I started my biology blog, and now I'm going to become a blogger. And there's so many things that you can do with a blog that I just think it's becoming more and more essential in today's economy.
Absolutely. Now, I've had a couple blogs, and I made the mistake of running about 3 or 4 blogs at once, and I kind of find myself sometimes in a place that many entrepreneurs and business owners find themselves, where I have a blog, but I'm not consistent with it. Is it another thing to do? I mean,
Yeah.
tell us about how you can truly plug in a blog into really any business, and how to build the habits to really create a successful blog, not just to have one. And I know you probably more familiar with that than not because you train on this, but there's a lot of people that even have a blog and just aren't doing anything with it or not doing much. Tell us how we can change those habits and how we can turn things around.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll use an example of what I did with my biology blog. No, knowing what at the time I started to learn about this blogging thing, and I thought to myself, man, if it's working in this, teaching people how to make money online thing, and that's very competitive, what would happen if I took the same principles and applied them to something like biology, where there's not as much competition in terms of people that are trying to game the system and all those types of things. So what I decided was, in the beginning, I would focus on putting great content out there. And if I put great content out there that had a unique perspective or a unique selling proposition, as they would say, I can build an audience, and I can go through certain things to build an audience and get traffic to that site. And once I have a platform, I can then monetize that. That was the overall philosophy that I was going with. So what I started to do, well, first of all, there's so many blogs out there. And if your blog is just another blog with information, why should I read your blog as opposed to somebody else's? So I tried to figure out what would be my unique angle. And my unique angle was that I would take really complicated topics in biology, break them down into really bite-sized chunks, and create videos that explain those complicated processes in very simple way. Really short videos, really concise, not dealing with a bunch of different topics, but just dealing with that one topic, one aspect.
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and I started in the beginning creating 3 to 5 videos every single week, posting them on my blog. It took a lot of work, but I knew that it was going to take a lot of work to build this into something substantial. So I started posting those videos on the blog, posting them on YouTube, embedding them in my blog, posting written content with it because I would have the transcripts. And I think that's very important because when Google indexes your site, they can't tell what's in your video, but they can tell what's in the written content that you're putting on your blog. So that's why I did that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't even know that. So I'm glad you shared that.
Exactly. So I started doing that, and I started building an audience. But the way I started building an audience was, number one, the videos were on YouTube. People could search for those videos, and the titles were descriptive. So when you go to search for how does a neuron produce an action potential, if I have a video that's related to that, that can show in the search results and you can see it. Then at the end of my videos, I said, if you want more like this, there was a call to action to come back to my blog so that you can get more videos and get more resources to help make biology fun. So I was constantly driving people back to the blog. Then I also went out there to other bloggers and let them know what I was doing. And since I had that unique angle, they were all like, wow, well, not all, but a number of them were like, that's interesting. I want to link to that. I want to promote that. And they started promoting that, and more people started coming to my blog, to where today now I get about 50,000 people accessing that blog every month.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to sum it up, but I really love that because a lot of people think that it's all about blogging, posting 3, 4, 5 times a week. And what they're missing is the promotion aspect, which you're sharing here. You're like, no, it's not just post stuff. Is do something with it, get it out there in front of people. So let me just summarize really quick for our audience here that, there's 5 key things that I've taken away so far. And we're not, we're just kind of, getting started here. But one is you chose a topic. I mean, you chose a particular topic about biology that, for you was making it fun. That was your USP, right? So now you can go to other biology blogs and say, mine is unique. It's different than your content. We're not competing here. As a matter of fact, I can supplement what you have. Exactly. Love that. Number 2, what I have is just create bite-sized value. It's not a matter of how much you're going into exhaustive, blog posts that are 2,000 words or anything like that, but really get descriptive on bite-sized chunks, nuggets that people could instantly use and get value from. Because, you probably have come to realize as well that people don't have a lot of time to just sit there and read for 30 minutes. They're not there for that. Exactly. So I love the fact that you said that. It's the bite-sized value that matters.
And before you move on from that, I also want to emphasize there that that's the unique angle that I came from. But for you, it might be something different. And depending on your niche, it might call for longer articles. On Become a Blogger, I sometimes write 2,000 to 3,000 word articles, and people are consuming it, but I've trained them to expect those types of things, and it's something where they want that kind of content. So you have to know your audience. But yes, bite-sized chunks, that's going to work for a significant amount of people, but depending on your niche, you might have to adjust it a little bit.
So you got to know your audience. At the end of the day, it's about knowing your audience, what they come to expect, and what's value to them. Exactly. Because even though it might be valuable to me, it doesn't mean it's valuable to them. So I really have to know that. So I love that, and thank you for addressing that too. No. Number 3, the other thing I took away is that you did it on a weekly basis. So consistency matters. It's not just post one time and then come back when you get around to it, or it's consistency, because if you're building an audience and a platform, you want people to come to expect something from you so they can consistently get value. Otherwise, it's so easy to be forgotten nowadays. And if you have something so valuable to offer, you want to remind people that, hey, we're here and we're going to help you in so many different ways, whether it's video or text or even audio, right? It's just being consistent with that and training people of what to expect from you. Number 4 is the call to action. I love that. If you enjoyed this video, check out the blog. And that kind of goes along what you said about promotion. You're promoting something, whether it's an offer, whether it's another blog post, no matter what that is, what's the step that you're leading people to so they can get more engaged with what you have. And then share. Again, we talked about that promotion. So, I just wanted to summarize those points because they're so valuable, and a lot of people are missing the mark with their blog because they're not using these simple strategies that you're sharing.
Definitely.
So, what do you think if somebody hasn't been blogging just yet? If they're looking at, I want to use a blog, I want to get out there? I mean, we've shared these 5 topics, but today, what's a way that I can get started without it being, this overwhelming thought of, oh, the blog is gonna just consume my time? What are a couple tips that you can share to get people starting from scratch?
The first thing that I would say is find some kind of training that's gonna teach you how to do it. Yeah, you can Google and find a little tidbit here, a tidbit there, and all that kind of stuff. And but the problem with that is there's so much information out there that
Mhm.
it's easy to get overwhelmed, and that's something that I saw. So that's why I specifically created 10 videos, free videos that I give away that teaches people how to get the blog set up, because that's the first step. You want to set up your blog. You need to get your hosting. You need to get your domain name. You want to install WordPress, which is the platform that I recommend for blogging, and you want to install plugins, the right plugins for you.
Yeah.
You to start creating content and adding it to your blog. Those are some of the basic things that you just need to do to get started. And a lot of people, you try to learn all these different things first before even just, taking simple steps. And
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that you can do. Just get it up there. And as I mentioned a little earlier, what I'm doing today is not what I was doing 2 years ago. It's not what I was doing when I first started. But by taking the action and actually just getting started, I learned a little bit here, I learned a bit there, and I started to tweak and until I, finally figured out where I wanted to be. So you don't have to figure everything out in advance, but you
Yeah.
do have to take action and work towards building something that's substantial.
Yeah, yeah, I love it because YouTube has so many different videos and things like that. And sometimes what we need is not just more information, but what's that sequence? What are the steps? I need to build on something. I can't start from scratch and just kind of throw things together. I want to build it right. And so that's the value of getting a course. So I appreciate you sharing that. So tell me quickly about how a blog can help you, maybe build a list or maybe sell some products. I mean, how can you use it now to begin monetizing and gaining a bigger audience?
Okay, once again, I'll go back to that example of my biology blog, and I can use other examples, but since that's so personal to me,
Sure.
I'll use that. At a certain point, I decided, you know what? I'm satisfied with the content. I want to start to monetize my blog, and I'm not saying that you have to wait to monetize, but that's the way that I chose to do at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, so what I decided to do was to test out a few different things. I created a study guide, which was just a simple PDF, and it's actually the same stuff that I have in my videos. I just kind of summarized and
Mm.
created a nice, clean study guide that pointed back to those same videos and had the same type of information, but it was organized in a very good way. And I started selling it on my blog for $35, $34.95, or something of that sort.
Okay.
And every month since I've launched it, people have been buying it. That's one thing that I did. The second thing that I did is something that a lot of people try, but they don't make any significant amount of money with it because they don't have a significant amount of traffic. I do have a significant amount of traffic, so I decided to go with AdSense. And I put AdSense on my blog, which basically serves up advertisement based on either the content that's on your blog. So some will come to my blog and it's all about biology, and they might see an ad for a biology study guide that's somewhere on the internet. When they click on that, I receive a few cents. But every few cents it adds up, and the more people like click, the more you make, and it ends up making a significant amount of money every month. My study guide. I I haven't touched the biology website really since August of last year.
Okay.
Every month the study guide makes anywhere between 300 on a low month and 800 on a high month. The AdSense make anywhere between $1,000 and $2,500 per month. And
Wow.
now I'm not doing anything for it to do that. So I'm getting ready to start doing some more biology videos to start driving more traffic and so on, and I expect to see that increase. But those are some of the ways that I've done. When it comes to my Become a Blogger blog, I started creating products that people can buy to teach them how to start a blog. How do you build a blog into a platform that you can build a business around, and those types of things. So there are all kinds of different things you can do. You can promote affiliate products. I do that also, and that brings in a significant amount of income also. So
Yeah.
there are all kinds of different things you can do. You can offer services depending on what your niche is, and I mean the list goes on and on in terms of what you can do. Once you have a platform, once you have an audience of people that come to you because they know you, they like you, they trust you, they are more likely to purchase when you do make a recommendation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember reading one of your blog posts, and it was like the year in review or something like that. I don't want to get into the numbers here, but I mean, you were just very transparent about how the blog has helped your business. Both blogs have helped your business. So I was like, wow, he's really opening the curtains here and sharing what his blog is actually doing for him. So it kind of gives the rest of us hope that we're not making that kind of money directly from the blog, but definitely it's still an asset to our business, and we are building an audience. So I really appreciate that post that you shared. Um, I want to be respectful of our time here, and we want to make it short, sweet, but to the point here. So, Leslie, is there one or two things that you want to share with the community here that maybe they don't know about blogging, or maybe two or three things that you've learned that they should start with now?
One thing I want to share, because I think this is something that's so significant that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people think about blogs as just, this online thing you do that's just for fun, that really has no effect on your everyday life type of a thing. But as I mentioned earlier, I was a high school biology teacher, and I didn't mention this, but I always wanted to be a university professor, but I didn't have a PhD, and I kind of gave up on that dream because I got frustrated with research when I was doing my master's. So I said, forget this. I'm just going to teach at this high school, and, it's going to be great. But then I started to feel that yearning for wanting to teach at a university. So I decided, hey, I'm not qualified to teach at a university. I'm going to do it online. I'm going to teach exactly what I want to do online. And I started posting my biology videos on the website and on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Fast forward 2 years later, no, not even 2 years, a year and a half or so, I got an offer to teach at a university based on
Wow.
what I was doing online. So now I'm a university professor. I never went for a PhD. They're actually going to pay for me to go and do a PhD now. But I'm saying this to say that you think that what you do online, it's just that online thing, but it can have so many different benefits when it comes to online life, offline life, because to me now it's all becoming one and the same. But
Yeah.
it opened up a significant opportunity for me. It allowed me to land my dream job
Wow.
based on what I did online. A lot of people, when they go to college maybe and they graduate and they try to find a job and they can't get a job because they don't have the experience.
Mm.
And what I like to tell people is, you don't have that experience. Well, with what the resources and the tools that we have today, you can create that experience.
Absolutely.
So I would implore anyone that's listening to this to not look at a blog as just this little online thing that you can do, but really think about what it can do for you professionally, because there's a lot that it can do for you professionally. Not just the monetary aspect, not just trying to make money and turn it into a business, but even to expand what you're doing in your professional career. I
Mm.
think it's very significant for that, more so today than ever before.
Yeah, I believe that, and I thank you because I mean, really, this interview is happening because you had a blog out there, and that's how I found you. And this interview would have never happened had it not been for your blog. So that's just proof that blogging works, and so I appreciate that. And as we wrap up here, I want to always end the Enlightened Entrepreneur series with one question, and that's, where do you find yourself mixing your faith and your business now? Is it an obvious thing, or is it kind of just your pillar of how you conduct yourself? How do you mix your faith with your business?
Now, I am the type of person that maybe is considered to be a bit extreme. I share too much information. You spoke about that post that I shared where I spoke about my earnings and all that kind of stuff. That was actually something I struggled with, because I don't want to be the person that's, hey, look at this, you do what I'm doing, you can make this amount of money and all that kind of stuff. But then I started to realize, you know what? I want to live my life in a transparent way. I
Mm.
want people to see what I do and see a full perspective. So I'm very open, not just about the amount of income it brings in, but also the struggles that I go through in order
Yeah.
to build my blog. This is not an easy thing, and a lot of people, you go to these websites and you have these people on yachts in the Bahamas and all kinds of stuff talking about how great this lifestyle is. No, I mean, yes, it can have some great aspects, but it is a struggle. But with that, I say all of that to say I'm very open about my life
Mm.
and my Christianity. That's a part of who I am. So whether it's just me just living by example, or whether it's me talking about God, whether it's me ending my podcast by saying take care and God bless, whether it's me saying, you know what, I'm struggling with this right now and I'm trying to figure out where God is leading me, I am open about that.
Yeah.
And that's going to turn some people off. And I don't mind turning some people off.
Mm.
But someone is going to see it. And a lot of people have seen it and have sent me an email talking about faith and saying, hey, you're a Christian. I can tell because such and such. And they might ask me a question and so on. To me, there's no, my Christianity is over here, my business is over here, my personal life is over here. This is who I am, and regardless of what I'm doing, I want that to be shown. So how do I mix it? I mix it by being who I am,
Yeah.
and by living by example, and by making mistakes and accepting the fact that I make mistakes, but accepting the fact that what, I am who I am today, not because I am this awesome blogger, but because of what God is doing in my life. If you go to my about page, that's one of the first things you're gonna see. Don't come here thinking that everything that you see here is because I am this great guru. I am not. God is good, and God is blessing me. Uh,
Amen.
and I think people are going to see that, and hopefully some people are going to be drawn to him as opposed to looking at me as if I'm this special guy, because I am just who I am because of him.
Amen. All right. Thank you so much. That was that was awesome. I
Yours.
love that it is be who you are. Don't, you don't have to segment yourself because we're one whole person and these are different aspects of who we are, not only as people in general, but as business people. So I appreciate that being open and candid there. The last thing that I want to ask you is where can people find out more about you? Where can they plug into you? I know you have, your 10 video series that was truly helpful. I've been through it myself. So where can people connect with you and learn more about Leslie and the amazing things you're doing?
Well, you can go to becomeablogger.com. That's my main hub, the blog where I talk about all these types of things. I have my podcast there, and there's the 10 free videos. If you want to go directly to the 10 free videos, you can go to freebloggingvideos.com. If you want to check out my biology stuff, it's interactive biology. Either just search for that in Google or go to interactive-biology.com. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, excellent. Well, I want to say thank you and hello to all our viewers that were on here live. I really appreciate you joining us today. Leslie, thank you. It's been an honor connecting with you here and just, thank you for pouring out who you are, what you do, and really being of service to our community here. I also want to thank Jason T. Weiser, who's been moderating, sitting around and making sure things are running smoothly. And I value you, brother. I thank you so much for coming alongside me with this Google Hangout. So once again, this is all about you growing your business to honor God and to reach more people. And if you want to know more about not only what we're doing at I.C.E.A, the International Christian Entrepreneurs Association, or if you want to just stay current with the latest interviews of this Enlightened Entrepreneur Series, make sure you check us out at ICEA.com. And that's ICANOW.org. I'm sorry. But anyway, check us out. We'll be doing more of these interviews. Samuel, thank you so much. Jason, it was a pleasure having you guys. And so long, and may God bless you and just pour out such an abundant blessing that you can't contain it and you're forced to give it out. Amen.